This protocol shows how to pattern oxide-free silicon and germanium with reactive organic monolayers using a highly efficient and operationally simple printing protocol. Selective functionalization of the patterned substrates with both small molecules and proteins is also demonstrated. The first step of the protocol is to covalently modify passivated silicon, or germanium substrates, with a highly stable primary organic monolayer. This protects the underlying inorganic-organic interface from reactive degradation and oxidative damage. The covalently linked N-hydroxysuccinimide ester overlayer is formed to provide latent hydrolytic and reactive functionalities. As a second step, the uniform bilayered NHS-modified substrates are patterned by catalytic microcontact printing using a patterned sulfonic acid-modified elastomeric stamp. Contact with the stamp hydrolyzes NHS groups, thus forming patterns of chemically distinct NHS-activated and free carboxylic acids. Next, the patterned substrates are functionalized with small organic molecules and proteins. This step is completed by first affixing nitrilo-triacetic acid-terminated heterobifunctional linkers to the NHS functionalized regions, and second by selective attachment of hexahistidine-tagged green fluorescent protein. The approach produces excellent results with patterns of differential fluorescence intensity that are quite clear and a pattern of integrity that is remarkably stable after multiple surface modifications.
So the main advantage of this technique over existing methods is the accuracy. The pattern is really controlled by the accuracy of the stamp itself as opposed to diffusion. The project was originally initiated from the idea that patterning techniques that rely on catalytic reaction as opposed to simple deposition must have numerous advantages. For one, the catalysts aren't consumed in the reaction and they can be reused multiple times, unlike traditional printing or deposition where you continuously need to supply new patterning materials. In our early work, we actually tethered a catalyst molecule to an AFM tip, and then we drug that along the surface in a serial process like a machine tool to pattern. But the elastomeric stamp was a logical extension for parallel manufacturing applications.
One of the most important aspects of the protocol is the use of the bilayered molecular system. This system allows us to both passivate and functionalize oxide-free inorganic substrates. Ideally, the initial primary SAM should achieve complete termination of all surface-to-exposed atoms and form a close-packed molecular system, which can protect the surface from both oxidation and degradation. The secondary overlayer should contain terminal functional groups, which can be further modified with additional chemical transformations.
The significant limitation to the resolution of traditional microcontact printing is the diffusion of the pattern in molecules. Our method relies on the chemical reaction between a catalyst currently immobilized on a stem and a substrate attached to silicon or germanium. Because of these properties, our techniques permits replication of very small 100 nanometer size features. Moreover, because the method creates chemical patterns, it is possible to functionalize them through specific reactions with different biological and organic molecules.
This procedure requires the use of several hazardous chemicals, such as hydrofluoric acid, nanostrip solution, and phosphorus pentachloride. When working with these reagents, it's important to wear the proper protective clothing and work in a well-ventilated environment. The most challenging part of this protocol is to quickly move the chlorinated surfaces into the Grignard solution in order to avoid reformation of the oxide layer.
Begin by preparing a silicon 111 wafer. Cut it into 1 cm square substrates, dust the substrates, and rinse them with water and filtered ethanol. Next, remove any organic contamination by submerging the silicon substrates in a glass dish containing nanostrip solution heated to 75 degrees Celsius. Wait 15 minutes, then rinse clean each substrate with deionized filtered water. Give each substrate a 5-minute bath in a 5% HF solution to remove the native oxide layer, and then dry the oxide-free silicon with nitrogen. To produce a chlorinated substrate, immediately submerge each oxide-free silicon piece in a scintillation vial containing 2 ml of saturated phosphorus pentachloride in chlorobenzene. After reaction is complete, let the vials cool at room temperature, rinse each surface with chlorobenzene, and dry under filtered nitrogen. Next, place each chlorinated silicon surface in a pressure vial containing 4 ml of propionyl magnesium chloride. Incubate the pressure vials at 130 degrees Celsius for 24 hours. Once the pressure vials have cooled to room temperature, rinse each surface quickly with dichloromethane and ethanol and dry under filtered nitrogen. Like the preparation of silicon substrate, cut a germanium wafer into 1 cm squares and dust and rinse with water and filtered ethanol. With germanium, remove organic contaminants by submerging the substrates in a dish of acetone for 20 minutes. Then, submerge them in a 10% HCl solution for 15 minutes. Dry the substrates with nitrogen and place each chlorinated surface in a pressure vial containing 4 ml of octyl-magnesium chloride. Incubate the vials at 130 degrees Celsius for 48 hours. After the incubation, allow the vials to cool to room temperature and quickly rinse each wafer with dichloromethane and ethanol. Dry the wafers under filtered nitrogen. Begin by pipetting a few drops of NHS diazurin solution onto the methyl-terminated surfaces. Allow the solution to spread across the entire surface. Place the surfaces under a UV lamp for 30 minutes. Then add more drops of NHS diazurin to the surface and let the reaction proceed for an additional 30 minutes. Rinse the NHS-modified surfaces with dichloromethane and ethanol and dry them under filtered nitrogen. Then proceed with functionalizing the small molecules. Finally, analyze the surfaces by XPS to determine the elemental composition. Begin the stamp preparation by mixing sodium 2-mercaptoethane sulfonate into 10 ml of 4-normal HCl solution in dioxane. Stir the solution at room temperature for 2 minutes. From the solution, filter off the sodium chloride through a fine glass filter and then through a 0.2 micron PTFE membrane syringe filter. Now, take the clear solution of 2-mercaptoethane sulfonic acid in dioxane and evaporate off the dioxane under reduced pressure. React the resulting sulfonic acid with 2 ml of polyurethane acrylate prepolymeric mixture at room temperature and then under vacuum at 50 degrees Celsius. Be sure to completely free the mixture from trapped air bubbles.
To ensure the successful polymerization of prepolymeric mixture, it is important not to overheat it when reacting with mercaptoethane sulfonic acid and when deoxygenating under vacuum.
While the solution is viscous, pour it onto the patterned silicon master and cover with a flat glass slide wrapped in parafilm. Then, cure the mold by exposing it to UV light. After polymerization, remove the glass slide and parafilm and carefully peel the stamp off the master. Cut the stamp to the appropriate size and wash it with ethanol and water. Then, dry it with filtered nitrogen. The following is the most important step to the protocol. Place the stamp on top of the NHS-modified substrate with no external load to hold them together. Do not shift the stamp or apply too much pressure. Wait 1 minute, then rinse the substrate and stamp with ethanol, water, and then ethanol again, followed by drying under filtered nitrogen. Store the stamps at room temperature. To analyze the produced pattern, use lateral atomic force microscopy in contact mode and scanning electron microscopy.
In this step, we immobilize GFP to the patterned silicon surface. We first start by modifying the activated esters with an NTA derivative, then immobilize the histidine tag protein to the surface through nickel chelation. It's important in this step to keep our biomolecule of interest at the appropriate temperature to avoid unwanted degradation.
To attach proteins to the NHS patterned bifunctional substrate, submerge it in a solution of lysine NN-diacetic acid and triethylamine. After an hour, rinse the substrates with water, followed by ethanol. Now, incubate the substrates for 5 minutes in a chelating solution of nickel sulfate. Next, rinse the substrates with water and binding buffer, followed by submerging them in a bath of ice-cold GFP solution. 1 hour later, rinse the substrates with the same binding buffer, followed by a rinse in PBS. Then, store the substrates in PBS at 0 degrees Celsius prior to analysis. Finally, analyze the surfaces by fluorescent microscopy to visualize GFP-modified areas. Soft lithographic nano-patterning was used to create chemoselective patterns on oxide-free silicon and on germanium. The reaction between the NHS functionalized substrate and the catalytic pattern stamp leads to the hydrolysis of NHS moieties in areas of conformational contact, yielding a patterned bifunctional substrate bearing regions of NHS activated and free carboxylic acids. Due to the diffusion-free nature of the method, the resolution is close to that of photolithography as seen in 125 nanometer features. These features were uniformly reproduced across the entire silicon substrate surface. The dimensions of the printed features were identical to those on the corresponding silicon master and the catalytic stamp. Remarkably, the catalytic stamp can be reused multiple times without losing efficiency. Chemoselective functionalization of patterned semiconductors was accomplished by exploiting the differential reactivities of activated and free carboxylic acids. First, nitrillotriacetic acid-terminated heterobifunctional linkers were affixed to the NHS functionalized regions and then used the resulting NHS patterned surface as a template for the selective attachment of hexahistidine-tagged GFP. NHS patterned silicon was chemofunctionalized with protein molecules using this approach. Under fluorescence microscopy, there was a clear intensity difference between GFP-modified and hydrolyzed free carboxylic acid regions. The size and shape of the replicated features are consistent between both NHS patterned and GFP-modified surfaces, confirming the remarkable stability of carbon passivated surfaces and the selectivity of the stamping approach.
The presented protocol is a form of inkless microcontact printing that can be universally applied to any substrate capable of supporting simple, well-ordered monolayers. Because the process does not rely on ink transfer from stamp to surface, the diffusive resolution limitation of traditional and reactive microcontact printing is eliminated, permitting routine manufacturing of nanoscale objects. The incorporation of a primary, highly ordered molecular system provides complete protection of the underlying semiconductor from oxidation damage.
The formation of chemiselective patterns provides specially resolved attachment points for a variety of biological and organic molecules. By using different reactivities of free and activated carboxylic acids, we were able to immobilize histidine-tagged proteins on the created patterns. However, this method is not limited to histidine-tagged proteins, and it can be used to immobilize other biomolecules such as DNAs and antibodies.
After watching this video, you should have a good understanding of how to modify passivated silicon or germanium with a bilayered molecular system and catalytically pattern the NHS modified substrates. While attempting this procedure, it's important to remember to work in a clean, dust-free environment. It's also important to employ the necessary safety precautions when working with hazardous materials such as HF and nanostrip.
Today, we're digging into a huge breakthrough, merging the world of electronics with biology. So just imagine what we could build if we could actually combine these two worlds. I'm talking a revolution in medicine and electronics. Think smart medical devices, advanced biosensors. But here's the catch. To do this, we have to draw microscopic patterns on really delicate surfaces. So scientists use this thing called a SAM. It's basically a one-molecule-thick raincoat for protection. And right there, that's the big problem. You need perfect protection and the ability to draw on it. So the old school way to do this was basically like using a high-tech rubber stamp. It was pretty straightforward, you know? You just ink a soft stamp and press it down. But yeah, this stamping method, it had some pretty major flaws. It just wasn't precise enough. For one, the ink would bleed, making the lines all blurry, and it really struggled with silicone. The best it could do? About 1,000 nanometers. That's just not small enough for what we need today. All right, so now for the breakthrough. It involves a much smarter stamp and a clever chemical reaction. Instead of a soft stamp, they use a rigid one, and they ditch the messy ink for a chemical reaction. So now, the stamp doesn't spread ink. It actually triggers a chemical change right where it touches. And using that rigid stamp is the secret sauce. It stops any blurring and gets incredibly fine details. And the result? We're talking features smaller than 200 nanometers, a huge improvement. Just look at that difference. It is a massive leap in precision over the old way. So this new technique really gives us the best of both worlds. It changes everything. You get complete protection for the silicon, pinpoint control over the patterns, and it's ready for new functions. So what does this mean? We can now attach really complex molecules to perfectly protected silicon. And what can we add? Well, anything from organic molecules and complex proteins to actual sensors. And what's cool is the researchers say this isn't just for silicon. It can work on lots of surfaces. So now that we can build these powerful hybrid surfaces, the big question is, what do we build first?